What's going on, everybody? It's the Phone 5 Fortune. So I wanted to start hopping on here and do some more Let's Chat sessions. I'm kind of in the process of updating some of the podcasting space and getting that situated so we can start adding some more podcasts to the channel. So that's a work in progress. So bear with me. I'm coming up, another keynote. I'm coming up on 1 full year of releasing music every week. So that is going to be in 4 days, I think. So big round of applause for that, man. That's a huge round of applause just to myself for staying committed and doing what I set out to do originally. Today we're going to be talking about your music will fail in 2025 if you don't fix this. You're pouring your heart into your music, and what happens? You go to release day, you tweet it to the world, you put it on Instagram, you send it in the group's chat, and refresh the Spotify for artists. A couple hours later, what do you get? A handful of streams. You're making the single biggest promotional mistake in 2025. And it's not about more ads or posting more on TikTok. The number one biggest mistake is that you're broadcasting into the void. It's that there's so much content currently going on right now that you're shouting new song out now and nobody's listening because they're completely overwhelmed, right? This is the biggest issue. You're broadcasting into the void. So you're using social media like a megaphone instead of a telephone. You're relying on an algorithm before you have real human connection, and that's like trying to start a fire with a wet match. The solution is become a community builder, right? You have to make that mindset shift. You can't be screaming at people, hey, go check this out now. You have to start thinking of it as building a community and what that encompasses. Your biggest goal should be right out of the gate is to get 100 fans. I mean, you don't want millions of passive listeners. You want 100 true fans. Those first 100 true fans are gonna be your evangelists. They're gonna share your songs. They're gonna like your posts. They're going to basically give you the fire to ignite the algorithm to say, oh, this is something worth sharing. So what do you need to do? You need to follow a 5-step community blueprint. So number 1 is going to be define your micro audience. This is the single most important thing you're going to do, because what happens and what I'm seeing a lot nowadays is that people are actually doing this later on. And if you literally do this right out of the gate and you define your micro audience first, you're going to save a ton of money and you're going to get more fans faster, right? That's the goal. People are just throwing darts up at the wall, and that's not how it should be done. And defining your micro audience, you have to be extremely specific. You can't just say 90s rock fans. It doesn't work anymore. You need to go in deeper, way more specific, like 90s rock fans who are into 90s grunge, who also like horror films and poetic lyrics. That's how specific you have to get. Then you're going to create content for them. So 80% of that content is going to add value, and then the 20% of that content is going to have the promotional aspect of it. So you can start asking questions and engaging with those fans about, let's say, one of the movies, one of the horror films, they're discussing about the score of that horror film and how it impacted some of the sound you created for this particular record, right? Your main call to action after that is going to be create your inner circle. It's not going to stream my song. It's more, it's got to be through emails or private Discord. Is where you're going to start building this. And if you need to start gathering that emailed list and that email chain, you can always offer up unreleased songs or handwritten lyrics just to get people to sign up, to be in the loop, right? And then nurture your community. You want to be able to have that community bonding where you're talking with your audience and not at them. After that, you're going to mobilize for launch. So you're turning your songs into a community mission, whereas on release day, you're not just asking them to stream the songs, right? And this is through your private Discord or through the email list. You're not asking them just to stream it. You're asking them to share it. So that ignites the algorithm to show that there's genuine engagement. And that's how you're going to grow. At the end of the day, this is how you're going to start building your career in 2025. Most of the older stuff doesn't really work anymore. We're in this new kind of era where it's more about building a community, less about the streams. You know, obviously with the stream payouts, we talked in another video earlier. I mean, you have to be into hundreds of thousands, if not millions of streams just from a DSP standpoint. So I wouldn't even mess around with it. You'd be better off for your money going in another route. So anyway, but I hope this strategy kind of clicked for you and you guys can start utilizing this in your own platforms and in the things that you guys are doing for yourselves. But this is really, really important. These are like very key steps for you to kind of start really thinking about who your target audience is, how you're going to capture that, how you're going to turn that into like, you know, CTAs and conclusive results for your music stuff and the things that you're creating. You know, obviously for me, it's been kind of like super long journey. I've been kind of like teetering with music and playing around and, you know, in the industry, had my own record labels. One of them, you know, slightly successful. The other one, not so much, lost some money, you know what I mean? But it's like, I've kind of been back and forth in a lot of different things in a lot of facets of the music industry. As you guys know, I kind of move around a whole lot. So it's like, I am, you know, I just kind of keep things really lean right now. You can just kind of see like this is, you know, I'm working with, you know, minimal stuff. But hey, at the end of the day, it's really not about being in $1 million studios. You can really get great sound. If you know how to use the tools, you can get great sound out of little things. It's like, just, you know, work with what you have and try to learn it to the best of your ability. And that's really going to take you where you need to go. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. You know who I am.